It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission. Win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get up to the guys, yeah?
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
From the ESPN-wide World of Sports complex at Walt Disney World Resort, this is USL Pro Soccer 2014. Tonight, the Orlando City Lions back at home taking on the Dayton Dutch Lions. In a big USL Pro game for Orlando City, the 100th USL Pro game for Orlando City. In fact, I'm Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler. So glad you're joining us here for another telecast on YouTube. And boy, the road form has not been good by Orlando City standards. They managed just 3 points in a 3-game road trip. That's basically 3 out of a possible 9. But at home, they're still unbeaten, and we got to live up. They can get a big 3 points tonight. That would be huge.
And that's the good news, that they're playing at home, because as you say, Jeff, their road form has not been that good as of late. But here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports, perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they need tonight. They need to get those 3 points. That will clinch at least a tie for the Commissioner's Cup, which goes a long way to securing all their home playoff games, which is important. Why? Because they're unbeaten at home.
It's easy to overlook Dayton, though. Last place team, 14th place coming in. They will not return to the playoffs. They made it last year for the first time in their franchise history. They played well against Orlando historically. They've never beaten. In fact, they're the only non-expansion USL Pro team to have not beaten Orlando. You do not want it to be tonight.
Well, this is not an easy place to try and get win number 1, Jeff. But they have shown that they've been quite the party crashers of late. Very, very good on the road over their past few games. And that's because they galvanize themselves very well on the road. I had a chance to talk with their coach just before the start of this one. And he says they really do enjoy going on the road together. They are a tight-knit unit, and then it shows of these past few road games for them.
Matt Weston taking over as coach on August 7th. Here's one of his best players, Sebastian Thorer, a native of, Pinellas County. He was the Pinellas County Player of the Year at Seminole High School a few years back, and here he is, pretty close to home.
Right up the road, he's got to be one excited player. I mean, he grew up in the St. Pete area. He went to college at the University of South Florida. Coach Matt Weston talked to me. He says, very intelligent player, makes really good runs, sees the game very well, good box-to-box player, and as you can see right there from the shot on your screen, he is a very strong lad as well.
He'll be called up to the Haitian national team here shortly. For Orlando City, Adrian Heath shaking the lineup a little bit, and back at goal, Carl Wazinski set to make his second start of the season tonight.
Well, what's that they say? Good things happen to those who wait, and he has waited a while for this. I think this is only maybe his second start as an Orlando City Lion, but he's been a great, great backup keeper. So everyone's happy that Carl Wazinski gets a start tonight. Big, strong, commanding in his box, and a very good shot stopper.
Well, the lineup's certainly going to look different in many ways. The 2 Benfica players that have joined the roster will make their home debuts tonight. We're talking about Estrella and Rafael Ramos. Adrian Heath talked about those 2 newcomers in training this week.
I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks since they've been training regular with Benfica. So, to arrive on Tuesday to arrive on Thursday, have a day with the guys and then put that type of performance in was fantastic. I have to be honest, I didn't think they were goal-scoring players when they arrived here. Rafa's never scored in his life, and I think Estrella's got about 2 in his career. So it was a great start for them, but more importantly, they were really welcomed into the group, and I think the most important thing is they showed everybody that they can certainly play at this level.
That's manager Adrian Heath. We'll have the starting 11s for each team when we come back after the national anthem. You're watching USL Pro Soccer here on YouTube. We're back at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Orlando City minutes away from kicking off against the Dayton Dutch Lions for the second time this season. The Lions beating Dayton on the road earlier this season in June. 2-0 was that. The final score line. Here's what Dayton brings under Matt Weston, the second head coach of the season for this team at 38 years old. And the lineup looks like this. Matt Williams will be the goalkeeper. In the back, Ross Friedman and Matt Waite, both Columbus Crew loanees. Shintaro Harada, fourth in the league in fouls committed, so watch out for him. Taylor Boland will be the right back. The aforementioned Sebastian Thurer is in that midfield, and up top you'll see Janae, Vickers, and Brookhuizen. For Orlando City, Tom.
Yeah, for Orlando City, as we mentioned, Carl Wazinski making his home debut in between the pipes for the Orlando City Lions. Jean-Jacques Botello will be manning down the left back spot. Next to him will be Rob Valentino. Tommy Redding, the youngster U.S. national youth team player, will be next to Rob. And then Ramos will be rounding out the defensive duties over on the right side. In front of them, Darwin Sarin will be holding down the central midfield role along with Estrella. And then a very familiar three in the midfield of Adam Mbenga on the left. The league's leading scorer, Kevin Molino, right there in the hole, and Austin DeLuz will slide in right next to him. And up top, Giuseppe Gentile. Gentile, that is Italian for goal scorer.
Making his first start of the season. The referee crew led by Stefan McCarty. He's assisted by Ty Hunya, Trent Van Heitzma, and the fourth official is Alex Darostang. He'll be stationed along the near touchline, wearing the green. They're ready to go. We're ready to go here on YouTube. As you see, Jean-Jacques Botello making a start at left back for the injured Luke Bowden. A couple of injuries here for Adrian Heath. Not the best time of the year to have these, but it's next man up. That's always his philosophy.
It is. That is, it's the next guy has to step up and do the job, Jeff. The good news is with the injuries, a lot of players will be coming back right in time for the playoffs. I know that Luke Bowden is well on the mend, as is Anthony Pulis, and hopefully they both will be eligible and able to go come playoff time.
Wazinski, one of the best goalkeepers in USL Pro last year with Los Angeles. The LA Blues, now known as the Orange County Blues, who got a big result last night against Richmond to help out Orlando. Tonight, the Lions can clinch a share of the Commissioner's Cup with Sacramento. That would mean they just need 1 point out of the final two to clinch it outright. So a big 3 points needed tonight by Orlando City. I think they'll get it.
And that was one of their goals going into the season. They wanted to win the Commissioner's Cup. They wanted to win the regular season title. So tonight is a big step toward one of their first goals of the season. So the 3 points is a must. And they have to get off on the right foot. Adrian Heath always talks about having the right mentality when you step across that line. So coming across the right mentality, making sure the ball is moving, all of the staples that are part of Orlando City team makeup.
It's a soccer Sunday night here in Central Florida. We are underway. Orlando City in the familiar purple, Dayton in the orange. As the ball will be flicked ahead by the visitors. And Christian Camacho there in the midfield for Dayton. Now along that yellow touchline. And Benge on that left back spot. And we see Estrella. He'll be manning the midfield for Orlando City, and Rafael Ramos will be the right back. So the two Benfica players still getting a grasp of the English language. So communication always a key when you join a new team.
It's important that you can communicate, but the game is a global communicator, Jeff. You can point, you can whistle, there's lots of ways to communicate on the field. And bottom line, if you make good runs, these are good players. They'll find you. Look at that.
Off to the side netting. Had a beat, and Matt Williams not happy with his defense there.
Well, Giuseppe Gentile gets inside, tries a little with the outside of his boot, just a little bit wide into the side netting, as you saw. Look at this pass from Kevin Molino. Great run by Giuseppe Gentile. Again, there's that outside of the foot. He was going to try and slide it just inside that near post, but Matt Williams equal to the task, pushing it a little bit wide.
Play continues here in our second minute. Now Dayton, who looked very impressive in a draw against Richmond a couple of weeks back. They tend to play the big teams big and playing up to their competition. And of course, Matt Weston, you were talking with him before the game, was at VSI Tampa Bay for a little bit at least last year. Of course, they were a revolving door at coach and no longer in the league. And he's familiar with the USL setup, having coached the Ocala Stampede and been their technical director.
Yeah, no stranger to the USL Pro setup for sure. And you mentioned their position in the league. Well, for these players, it's obviously not about the playoffs, but this is going to be your new boss. This is a guy who's going to be there next year. So you're playing to impress your new boss. You're playing for a spot in the league and in this team next year. So every result is important when you're a pro. There's no time, regardless of your league position. You can't just take off and decide not to play or feel sorry for yourselves. That's just not your job.
Camacho plays with Thorer now. Janae racing through the midfield and goes down at about the 20-yard line on the football gridiron. Of course, some high school football games being played here at Disney. We don't normally have the football lines on this field, so it'll take some getting used to.
It's a lot of lines out there, Jeff. We're just looking at the yellow ones.
Dayton is used to it. They play at Dayton Outpatient Center Stadium. West Carrollton High School there in suburban Dayton, capacity 3,000, but there are lines on that field, so they'll be used to that.
So it feels a little familiar to them.
Sure.
Which is probably not what
Home
they
away
want,
from
because their road form is better than their home form.
How about this move by Janae? He'll send it on frame and takes a deflection out. A corner kick for the Dutch Lions.
He made a good run. Got himself cut back. You see, Dayton's made a couple changes to the way they play. I was talking, they had a very familiar 4-3-3. Now they're going to move into, kind of keep it that way. They're going to change the formation just a little bit. Watch him play a little bit more out of a diamond in the middle, Jeff.
Wazinski, the native of Columbus, Indiana, again his second start tonight, setting everybody up in front, physically placing Botello Jean-Jacques. And Estrella in front. Boy, comes right in front. Boy, dangerous ball inside the 6.
Seemed like some pinball happening in there.
That's right. David Clemens wasn't aware that it was right at his feet.
That's interesting. From my vantage point, it looked like, from what I was seeing, it looked like Carl should have kind of picked that up, and it just kind of got away from him, and then it bounced around a little bit, and then Elton John started playing. Although it was first made famous by The Who, we should probably say.
Yeah. Tommy Redding, native of Oviedo, getting the start alongside Rob Valentino in the central defense. If you're Orlando City, you're coming off a 3-1 defeat at Wilmington. And you certainly want to, I think Adrian trying to develop a spark here tonight by switching up the lineup just a tad.
Well, let's not knock Wilmington too much. Wilmington.
There's a shot off to the left. Appeared to be off of the foot of Molino.
Didn't quite get as much as he wanted on it, but you could definitely tell he was looking for that. He's looking for that post to his left. Watch him just come inside. Just couldn't get himself balanced. He couldn't get himself square and over it, and he was falling away, so it lacked the power that he was looking for. But still, he was able to guide that in on frame. Kevin Molino having the season of his life.
Molino leading the league in goals and points and shots. 16 goals, 39 points, 67 shots. Surin sent that one in and will be kept alive. Looks weird not seeing Luke Bowden on that left side, but
sounds weird not saying it.
Is just nursing a couple of knocks. Want to get him healthy before the playoffs start. Of course, the lines are already there. A shot and a goal! Orlando City. Kevin Molino, we were just talking about him, and now has his 17th.
Well, did you look at that? That is a master at work. He knew exactly what he was going to do with it. A lovely little 1-2, and he clinically deposits it in the back of the net. We'll have a good look here. So throw-in comes. A good little flick inside and then a great one-touch by Giuseppe Gentile to set up Kevin Molino, who nice and calmly slots it home.
Far post is open on a Sunday night. Goal number 17. He's now 3 goals clear for that Golden Boot award.
When you're playing with that much confidence, you just feel like you can do just about anything. That is so much fun when you have that much confidence.
Matthew Delicott of the Richmond Kickers closest to him with 14. They've got some games out on the West Coast before coming here to close out the season.
Earlier I was talking about, don't discount Wilmington. I mean, that's a team that's playing for their playoff position, a little desperate, and they're playing very well. I mean, they got another result last night in their draw. So very dangerous team. I mean, this is not an easy league to play in by any stretch of the imagination.
Now Molino, it's another ball from Gentile into the 18-yard area. Giuseppe is going to win it back. Takes it into the corner off of Orlando City. So, oh no, actually touched a Dayton player. That's the ruling of the referee. So the Lions will have the, nope, goal kick.
One of them.
Tough to see the angle sometimes. Yeah. Looked like they were complaining.
I think Giuseppe Gentile was looking up at the heavens. He wanted a better touch.
Dayton chasing a 1-0 game. Headed by Valentino. Flipped back up, looking for Mbenge. Quickly released out to Surin. Now the switch is made. Here's Ramos finally playing on his right side. He made his first 2 appearances on the left for Adrian Heath. Likes to play on that right and make the overlaps. Here he is now. Ramos keeps it down in front, pokes it through. Gentile right there. Battling all the way, wins it right back, but he commits a foul in the process.
Yeah, I think the ball was bouncing around a little bit as he tries to get it down and turn that into an effort on frame. It's bouncing around, just didn't quite cooperate with him there.
We were talking about Bowden's injury. Of course, Corey Herzog also nicked up, not playing tonight. And Anthony Pulis continues to nurse some soreness. They all hope to be back in the fold once the playoffs begin. The 13th of September, the quarterfinals, they'll be hosted right here.
That'd be a really good thing for Orlando to be able to say we will be able to play at home all throughout the playoffs as long as we keep winning, because their road form of late's not been great, but their home form again absolutely on fire at home.
Lions form overall, they've been alternating losses and wins in the last 5. Lost to Harrisburg, beat Harrisburg. Lost to Charlotte, beat Richmond very impressively, and then lost at Wilmington. You would think on that 3-game road trip, the one that they weren't going to win was at the time the second-place team in the league in Richmond, and that didn't happen.
Well, it shows the strength of Orlando City, really. I mean, yes, they can go out and drop a result, but this team can step up into the MLS ranks and beat some teams in the MLS. So it's a very, very strong squad that Coach Adrian Heath has assembled. And
ball comes free now. Deleuze. He'll take a shot, and it puts it off to the right. And Williams had to make sure.
Yeah, Matt Williams had to come flying across just to make sure he covered his post there. But Austin Deleuze not afraid to have.
Oh, it's Ramos.
Sorry, it's Ramos. Watch him. Puts his head down, pulls that trigger. Ball's just bending away a little bit from him. But enough to force Matt Williams into a cover. And they're saying he didn't get a touch on it, and from that angle, the referee might be right.
Ramos doing what right backs do in this system. They get forward.
You must. It is a must in this system.
Going back to that 3-game road trip, I had to be impressed with what Charlotte did. One of 3 teams this season to notch their first ever win against Orlando.
Well, I think they said turnaround's fair play. They'd come here a fair few times and take their lumps.
Finally got one back.
So I think they were happy to return the favor a little bit.
This will be the final meeting ever between Dayton and Orlando, bar anything in the U.S. Open Cup in the future when the Lions are in MLS next year.
Very true. You never know what the U.S. Open Cup might throw up at you.
Seems like Charlotte and Wilmington, we'll definitely see Wilmington again next week.
Oh,
another ball through.
Ball.
They hold it up in front, looking for Molino, and that one over the top.
Well, you could see Giuseppe Gentile there. He was looking. Thought he might have a go on his own, but when you have the league's leading scorer crashing into the box, you're going to have a look at him, aren't you? So you have a look. Gentile just slows it up enough, and he looks across, spots Molino, just evades that sliding tackle, but just enough that Hirata comes across and is able to cover his keeper's back, which is what you're supposed to do as a defender.
Interesting. You saw him look up to see what Molino coming. Could have given it a go himself if he wanted to. Estrella.
I'll tell you, it's funny because there seems to be a lot of space that opens up for Orlando in the midfield.
Oh, another deflection right on target, and Williams had to go low to get it.
Yes, indeed. I don't think it was intended as a pass back, so don't look for that rule in that one. There has to be some intent for the ball to be passed back to the keeper, which I don't think that had any intent.
Turn made by Clemens.
Keeper had to work hard there. Matt Williams had to work hard to make sure he held that one.
Janae gives chase. Well, you've coached a lot of games. What is it about playing on the road that just changes the complexion of a team?
Well, there's a lot of factors. I mean, number one, you kind of know your home like the back of your hand. So it's always an advantage for a home team because they don't have to travel. They don't have to. And I don't know about you, but when I'm sleeping in strange beds, I don't sleep very well. I know my bed at home, and I love my bed and my pillow, and I'm very comfortable in that environment, and I sleep very well. When I go out into hotels, I don't tend to sleep as well. So you have that factor to deal with. Pitches are of different conditions, different sizes. Having your fans behind you helps an awful lot. But there are some teams, to be quite honest with you, as you're seeing with Dayton Dutch Lions, that really enjoy going out on the road. This looks to be a very young team, so they probably enjoy the spoils of going out and traveling, and it can be a lot of fun, especially when you're getting results.
Dayton 6-5-2 overall away from DOC Stadium. At home, they are 0-11-2. So there is an exception to every rule.
They just don't seem to like playing at home. So maybe they should have changed their schedule to have more away games.
Do what Antigua Barracuda FC did a couple of years back. Play every game on the road.
That was amazing.
Did not work out well for them.
No, that was amazing.
There's Camacho. Well, play direct over the top. Goes into the corner. Cross is there. Top of the 6. Deflection. Handled fine. Now Ramos will take it. Ian Redding playing that right side. Valentino will just punt it forward. Nicely brought down by Gentile.
Should be off.
Yep. Just off the shoulder. Not by much.
A lot of space in between the lines of players for Dayton Dutch Lions.
Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com.
Kevin Molino enjoying lots of space. If you look between the back four, more the central two for Dayton Dutch Lions, and then the midfielder that's playing more defensively. A lot of room inside that diamond. Orlando's exploiting a lot of room inside their diamond. They're playing more of a diamond in the midfield, and then the spacing in between the defensive midfield and the back, and the two center backs for Dayton. They're finding a lot of space in there.
Friedman with a great ball into the mixer, and Valentino will just send it out. So Friedman, player there along that right side. One of the two Columbus Crew loanees in the lineup tonight. There are two more that have been in and out of the roster recently. And the best was Aaron Schoenefeld, who had 12 goals, was called back and stayed back with Columbus. So they lost their best player, and they've gotten better.
Well, you know, you have to do what you have to do. He's not going to be there, so you got to figure out a way to play without him, even though he is a player that's scored an awful lot of your goals. But a little change in formation by Coach Matt Weston, a little change in attitude. He's come in and he's livened things up, made it a little bit fresh, and the players have responded to that.
Aaron Schoenefeld sitting on 12 goals. That's good for tied for third in the league, and he hasn't been with the team in a couple of weeks. There's Friedman, and he'll just send that into touch. It'll be a throw for Orlando City in front of Itchy. Head coach Adrian Heath, 53 years old, out of Stoke, England. Stoke-on-Trent.
And the guy there to his right, Ian Fuller, celebrating.
Birthday.
Happy birthday to assistant coach Ian Fuller. You see him right there.
21 years old today.
That's what he tells me.
Looking right. Ramos, top of the 18-yard area. That's to lose. Now Surin. 1-2 with Estrella. Through to Gentile. Molino keeps it on his left foot. Boy, big save made by Williams on Mbenge, who found some space and got the left foot on it.
Well,
for a corner.
As soon as he was able to come over onto his left, you knew one thing: it is going goalward and it will have velocity. So you see, he comes across, takes a good big touch to get it out in front of him. Bang. Very strong. Good save by Matt Williams. He had to get that one arm down and keep it strong to palm that one away, because that ball was moving.
Austin Deleuze will do the honors from the far corner flag. Lions leading it 1-0 on the strength of Kevin Molino's 17th goal of the season. Looking for another one, as that one was headed on. And Camacho got a foot on it. Brisbane trying to do something going forward. Botello will just send it back. Another dangerous giveaway here, and way off his line was Wazinski, and he gets a big hand from the ruckus. A decisive move by Carl Wazinski making the start tonight.
Well read by Carl Wazinski. He had to be strong and quick getting off that line, because he wanted the back pass, but sometimes it happens and it got under hit. But he was able to read that and get out quickly to snuff that out. That could have been trouble.
Wazinski 6'5", 210 pounds. So he can go up and climb the ladder. It comes out again, slides in, safe to take it away from Janet.
6'5", 210 pounds coming at you with some speed and force.
It's a long way down to the ground, though, when you're got to hit the deck.
But when you hit the deck, you know it.
Here's Estrella. All the way wide. Boy, nicely held down by Ramos. Right off the chest, down to the foot.
Great first touch.
They show class. Estrella now to the left corner, and Mbenge can't quite get there. Or Botello Jean-Jacques, excuse me.
Botello Jean-Jacques, he's going to get forward. He knows what it's like to get forward.
In our 20th minute, 1-0 Orlando City. Looking to stay perfect at home. 11-0-1 coming in. So not necessarily perfect, but unbeaten.
Well, unbeaten, and as importantly, staying unbeaten, but also picking up those vital 3 points, which clinch at least a tie for the regular season championship in that Commissioner's Cup, which goes a long way. One more point out of their next 2, and then they would solidify home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Flag is up. Visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Our referee tonight, Stefan McHardy. We'll get a workout this evening for sure in the humidity of Central Florida.
It has been very, very warm. Very, very warm here. In fact, warm's not the word. It's called hot.
And Matt Weston didn't like the call. Adrian up off the bench as well. And down goes Dama and Mbenge, and this may bring out a yellow, and it will. So yellow goes to Ross Friedman, the Columbus Crew loanee. First booking of the night for either team in the 21st.
See, comes in, real full-blooded challenge, totally misses the ball and catches all of Adama and Mbenge. Pretty easy decision for the official, all in all.
Not a smart challenge from the Harvard grad.
No.
Homegrown player of the Columbus Crew.
But when you only know how to do things one way, if you're at Harvard, that's all the way in the right way. And if you're going to get a yellow card, you get it the right way, and he certainly did. Missed the ball completely and just completely took out Adama Mbenge.
Rafael Ramos Surin. Deleuze works in inside the 18. Painted in yellow tonight. He'll shoot with his left foot. As Deleuze looking for his second goal in as many games. Or was that Ramos? Look very similar from that distance. We'll get the clarification here.
So you see Ramos coming in again. First shot with his right, this one with his left. He will pull the trigger on both ends.
Ball sent in right into the gut of Williams.
Just trying to find him at the far post. Trying to whip that ball in. Williams comes out nice and strong, able to collect.
Williams been the stalwart between the pipes for Dayton the last couple of years. Been there since 2012. Played at Wilmington in 2011. So everybody in USL Pro knows about Matt Williams and how good he is. When he was at the University of Cincinnati, he was 9th in the nation in goals allowed. So playing near his hometown, about 45 minutes to an hour up the road, give or take. Up I-75.
Always nice when you can play near at where you grew up.
Battle right at the halfway line.
Good skill and turn there by David Clemens.
Now Molino leads the charge. As Surin racing into the 18. Comes back to Gentile trying to catch it, and then now the Dutch Lions will counter. The Dutch Lions will be the Lone Lions in USL Pro next year, by the way. Won't have to share the moniker anymore. Here's a move by Janae, and deftly taken away by Ramos. But it leads to a corner anyways. Boy, he plays from byline to byline, doesn't he?
He's got an engine room. He certainly gets up and down, clean technically.
Ramos, the native of Portugal, just 19 years old. He and Estrella both signed for MLS on 3.5-year contracts that have started this year. Here's Cameron Vickers to send in the corner. Now in our 25th minute. Pace of this game slowed just a tad, wouldn't you say?
Perhaps a little bit.
Definition of just a little tad. Clemens with the header. Run on by Thurier. In the center circle, will look to make the switch. As Vickers forward, trying to hold it on his foot. Clemens just sent it off the back of Janae. And the Lions will take possession. Molino races in. Look out.
Just thought he'd have a go.
Christian Camacho getting macho. Sends it out. Working the width. Orlando City. Ramos. Seems like Orlando City a little bit out of rhythm given their start. Some of the passes just not crisp, not on target. A little too long, a little too short. This is a team, they don't sit back, Jeff. There's no, we've got a goal, okay, we're going to sit deep, come get us. They're going to push the issue at all times. See the captain, Shintaro Harada. 5'7", but playing in the central defense. And if you follow the USL Pro, you know Harada. Here's running on is Brookhuizen. He'll send it just about 3 feet off the frame. Distributed quickly by Wazinski.
Things seemed to open up for him. He thought, oh, I'll have a go. Not able to put it on target. Not too much trouble for Carl Wazinski.
Harada in his second year with the Dayton Dutch Lions. Was in Pittsburgh for 3 seasons before that. Crystal Palace, Baltimore. 33 years old and still playing at a high level. Again, 4th in the league in fouls committed.
So a lot of players
he's in on that ball.
A lot of players know who he is. He makes himself very familiar.
He'll be loaned out to the Yokohama of the J League here after the season finishes up for Dayton. Dayton closes the season at home against Wilmington on the 5th of September.
It must be quite a change to go from Dayton, Ohio to Yokohama, Japan.
There's Molino, gets a beat and earns a corner kick. As tracking back was Matt Waite.
Great tackle by Matt Waite, because you looked at that and you thought, oh boy, here we go. If you have a look here, Kevin Molino, once he gets looking at goal, but a great well-timed challenge by Matt Waite, and it had to be because you'd put your money on Molino scoring a goal from that situation.
Waite, again, the Columbus Crew loanee, Crew Academy player, 23 years old, and did some college soccer at UCLA. Not a bad program. Local kid to Columbus from Worthington, which is a suburb of the state capital of Ohio. Estrella. Jean-Jacques. Benge. Boy, driven ball in the center. They leave it. Molino back to his left foot and goes down top of the 18. And no call forthcoming from our referee, Stephen McCarty.
Referee wasn't having it. He comes across. Maybe there's a little contact, maybe what, but Kevin goes down. The referee says, nope, we're going to play on. I'm not having that one.
And Benge looking to win this race. And Williams.
Doesn't take much anymore. I mean, players are very sophisticated and smart. They get around the box. They know where contact is. And they'll go down. They'll look for it.
Lions on Lions tonight. Predatory cat battle renewed here. Dayton 0-3-4 all time, but certainly been a bogey team for Orlando City, as you would call them. Just they've been tough to get points on, tough to get the wins.
Well, I think they make it tough for Orlando to win. Orlando do have 3 wins in the series of 7 games. But if anything, you think of your Dayton Dutch Lions, oh my gosh, we're playing a team who we just can't seem to beat.
Wait. We'll wait. Chip it ahead. Orlando will take possession. Played nearly a half hour here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex. So glad you're with us. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler and our ESPN crew. Ramos, boy, is he able to keep that in? No. So the Dayton Dutch Lions, interestingly enough, don't have any Dutch flavor this year. Usually not one player on the roster hails from the Netherlands. That is very unusual.
Well, that's the whole reason that they came up with the Dutch Lions. They really bought into the Dutch philosophy, from the colors that they picked. And again, as you say, in years past, they've had players from Holland. So a little departure.
Team owned by Eric Tammer Sports Management. They've been affiliated for the last couple of years with FC Twente from the Eredivisie, sharing some knowledge and perhaps people in the player pool. Racing back now is Ross Friedman.
I think we're going to get a free kick. Adama Benge going down, drawing the free kick.
Inside Ramos. Nice cut. Back to Molino. Estrella. Jean-Jacques now to Mbenge. Comes right at goal. Sends it in with the left foot. A sliding attempt by Gentile.
Great first touch by Adama Mbenge to take that over to his left side. Plays a nice ball low and hard on the ground. Giuseppe Gentile at full stretch to try and get that one turned onto the frame.
Corner kick Orlando.
Obviously it was touched on the way out.
Darwin Surin, the El Salvadorian international, will do the honors from the right side. It is headed right back to him. Change for $1 going to the back post and didn't miss many heads.
Oh, it looks like Kevin Molino lurking at that far post.
Fans, make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest league updates, including the scores. This is the only game in the league tonight to follow on that Twitter feed. Usually it's a little more crowded. 4 games last night. Rochester beating Harrisburg 4-1. Charleston at home knocking off Pittsburgh, shutting them out, in fact, 4-0. And as it's headed back to Williams, the 2 results that Orlando City supporters were interested in was that Sacramento game with Wilmington and the Richmond game out against Orange County. Both ended up in draws, so each of those teams, 2nd and 3rd place, dropped points to help Orlando out.
Yeah, that's to the benefit of Orlando City, of course, because I think it's always important when you get into a playoff situation. You want that to be right there. You see that shot, you see those fans. This is where you want that game. You want to play your home games right here if you're Orlando City. That's a big reason why. That big fan support, this nice facility, and like I said, you don't have to travel.
And Bengay, the vapor trail behind him, was able to center. Now Molino wins it.
Oh,
and a foul call.
Yeah, he's going to be called for a foul. I think he's a little perplexed as to what. From the vantage point I had, I'm not sure what that was.
Harada was haranguing him.
But for once, Shintaro Harada is happy to be on the other side. He's being fouled, not fouling.
Job by Redding to keep the ball alive. Ramos playing further back now, gets it to Austin to lose. Got it back to the left. When you have the lead, everything comes easier. You can take time, make the correct pass. Don't have to force things. When you're trailing on the road, it's a different story.
Well, if you go in, I mean, you conceded kind of early. So if you go in 1-0 down to the league leaders, you're saying, okay, we've kept them within touching distance. We're still in this. You know, one touch of the ball can bring us level. I think it's important that they go in. If they can't get it, I mean, I think if they want to score goals, of course. But if you can't, you definitely want to make sure you go in with 1-0 down. If you're Dayton, you don't want to concede again before the half.
Speaking of the half, just over 10 minutes away. If you're just joining us, Orlando took the lead in the 7th minute on Kevin Molino's 17th goal of the season. Remind you that this is the 100th USL Pro game that Orlando City has played, and tonight they can clinch a share of the Commissioner's Cup with the 3 points. They'll get to 58. Max points for Sacramento, who is currently in 2nd, is 58. So if either Sacramento drops a point from now and the end of the season, or Orlando gains a point, provided Orlando wins tonight, the Lions win the Commissioner's Cup again. 2nd time in, I think, that 3rd time in 4 years.
Again, that was their main aim. That was what they wanted. They know they're going MLS, but they didn't want to lead this league without being champions. They want to go out the right way.
Flick on, looking for Thorer. Has some real estate in front. Sebastian Thorer will send it off of Valentino, who stood him up.
Well, he stood in strong, Rob Valentino, took the block. You love that if you're Carl Wazinski. No flinching from Rob Valentino. He didn't get 2 for flinching. He wasn't flinching.
Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. It's Gentile wearing the Nike kicks tonight.
There's quite a few players out there wearing Nike boots.
Sort of making it difficult for Vickers. Try the other side with Harada. Brookhuizen. Now to Clemens. Good triangle passing. Brookhuizen, the 6'5" giant. And racing out to take it was Wazinski. Clemens was in the area.
3rd time tonight, Carl Wazinski. Big, strong, off his line quick to snuff out potential danger.
Wazinski made 1 start earlier this season, allowed a goal, made 4 saves. So clean sheet would be a nice addition to his season stat total.
It's always
way to go.
It's always your aim if you're a goalkeeper. You'd be happy to sit back there and do nothing and read a copy of War and Peace.
Surin plays to the right side. Now Ramos. How about that cut to the left foot? Rafael sends it to the back post, which is open. And can Mbenge get there? He does. And Amanel dribbles into the 18. Left foot, top of the box. Shot, scuffed it a bit. The rebound is good. Gentile scores his second goal of the season for Orlando, and they lead 2-0.
Well, there you go, and there you have it. Another one in the back of the net for the Orlando City Lions. Giuseppe Gentile. He speaks 4 languages. Watch this, ball comes in, takes a little touch, sets it up for Molino, scuffs it, comes back. Just before he gets there, there's Giuseppe Gentile. Speaks 4 languages, Jeff. English, German, Italian, and Spanish. But in any language, it all means one thing: goal.
What do they speak in Trinidad? Because that was a nice assist for Molino, and that's what he'll say.
He doesn't speak Trinidadian. Couldn't tell you, and he couldn't either. You'd have to ask Kevin.
Not sure that's the way it was drawn up, but Giuseppe right there to pounce on it.
When you score a goal, you don't care
Doesn't
how
matter.
it comes. It just gets across the line.
They get it here at home. Had 27 goals in 3 seasons at UNC Charlotte, which is a really good Division I soccer program.
We talked about
Schoenstein State native, was born in Miami, even though he grew up in Charlotte. Just 21 years old.
Well, we talked about it. That's not what you wanted if you're the Dayton Dutch Lions. It's perfect for Orlando City. You always love to score before going into the locker room at halftime. Gives you a nice little lift. And for the Dayton Dutch Lions, it puts you a little more out of touch. You're going to have harder work to do to get yourself back in the game. And anytime you're playing against an Orlando City team that can hit you on the break really, really hard, this is just not the position you want to be in.
Juicy's goal, allowing Orlando to put the squeeze on Dayton. Could have been 3-0 here. No.
Yes.
And yes. Adama Mbenge looks to have this one. In the 40th minute, no, Molino with a hat to make that a brace. Excuse me. That was rather easy for Kevin.
In the words of Darth Vader, all too easy. As you see, good pass by Darwin Sarin. Plays a little touch to play Giuseppe Gentile in. The ball comes back across, and like I said, all too easy.
And Giuseppe would get the assist here, so paid him back.
That'd be an unexpected assist, but an assist nonetheless. He was the player to touch it before Kevin scored. I think he had ideas he wanted to score it himself. But he'll probably take the assist at the least. And if you're the Dayton Dutch Lions, the wheels have just come off the bus.
Yeah, Williams was there to make the initial save, but the relentlessness of that Orlando City attack kept the pressure on.
I think they look at Kevin Molino and call him. Oh my!
This may be a foul on Gentile.
Yes.
Will be quick restart.
I think Kevin Molino is a Dutch hater.
Jacques. Switch is made. Coming up on 4 minutes from halftime. 3-0 Orlando City in firm control.
Now you start to sense that Orlando City players will feel one hand on that Commissioner's Cup at this point.
There's a sub after all that commotion. We'll get you caught up on here for Dayton.
And if you're the rest of the league, that's the one thing you don't want to see. You don't want to be a Sacramento or a Richmond saying, oh my gosh, we're going to have to, the championship might have to run through Orlando.
It was Kyle Kutsidze checking in for Coach Matt Weston. Ross Friedman, I believe, went out. Confirmation on that. Sidzi, saw him last year, Tom, is from the Republic of Georgia. Spent last year with Dayton, 24 years old. Georgian U21 national team member as well.
So he's not Dutch, but he's Russian, kind of. Georgian,
I wouldn't say
which
that.
is a former piece of Russia.
Gentile with the wheels again. The juice is loose. Back post. And Kitsidze. Oh, that one off the face of Harada.
I think they're saying they thought it might have come off his arms, but they're looking for a handball call, but not going to get it.
Skelter defense now for the Dutch Lions. Slowing it down is Thorer. There's Kyle Kitsidze right there. Battle along the near touchline. Camacho. Dayton would certainly like to at least get one back before halftime, but give him a fighting chance in the second.
Well, they feel like they have some sense of belief.
Joe Brookhuizen, the tower of power there, number 23. How would you like to be D'ing up against him at 6'4"?
I don't think Rob Valentino and Carl Wazinski at 6'5" mind that too much.
Boy, nicely held down by Orlando. Running on. There's a shot. Parried away by Williams.
He had some vinegar on that one.
You know why it's hard to identify Molino tonight? He got rid of the blonde streak. From distance, he's just another guy.
He got rid of the blonde streak. He's wearing black boots. He's understated. All except for his goal scoring record, he's understated.
Now 4 goals clear for the Golden Boot with 2 games to play after this one. Coming up on the full 45, there'll be 2 minutes of stoppage added on. As Orlando in control, 3-0. Molino with the first half brace in the 7th and 41st minute. Giuseppe Gentile with his second goal in purple.
Coming on strong, Giuseppe Gentile.
Substitution brought to you by Metro PCS. Entering the game, number 45, Keith Deitel, 4. Number 23,
Keith Deitel
Bruckhausen.
Comes in for Brookhuizen.
The referee has added a minimum of 2 minutes stoppage time.
Every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today.
Deitel, well, I'd say from a phonetic standpoint, that one confuses me. It's kind of like Brett Favre. How do you ever get Favre out of Favre? I have no idea.
Deitel spelled D-E-T-E-I-J.
Why is that J even there?
Or D-E-T-E-L-J. Perhaps that's it.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't show up in one of my classrooms. I'd mispronounce his name to heck and back.
Yeah, D-E-T-E-L-J according to the team sheet.
Phonetically, that'd drive you crazy.
Deitel, that said, is a attacking type player out of New York. There's a run by Clemens again. Boy, nice move to the right side. Sends it across the face of goal. Didn't have a runner on the backside, but a nice effort.
Nice used as a step over by David Clemens to make himself some space. Was able to hit a low drive. Wazinski got down but didn't have to touch it. A little bit wide of the target.
Clemens, a native of Saratoga Springs, New York. He's a horse racing fan. 22 years old, and he has something in common with yours truly. Graduate of Virginia Tech.
There you go. He's a Hokie.
ACC program that's on the rise. In stoppage time, Orlando City 3, Dayton 0. This will be the last meeting between these 2 USL Pro teams as it stands, at least in this league.
This next kick should be the last action of the half. There's the whistle.
So we've reached the half. All Lions of the Purple Persuasion. Molino, a first half brace. Gentile adds one as well. And the Orlando City Lions lead the Dayton Dutch Lions 3-0 at the half. Here's what the numbers look like, Tom.
Well,
Pretty
of course,
one-sided.
that'll be 3 up at the top, of course. But look at the shots: 13. They're out shooting them 13-3, but on goal 9-2. 7 shots on frame. Matt Williams with a very busy half for the Dayton Dutch Lions. Saves, of course, you see Matt Williams. That's always going to be in favor of Dayton Dutch Lions there. And then corners 5-2 again. The dominance by the Lions of the Orlando City Persuasion, as you like to put it, Jeff.
Adrian Heath will not have to make many changes. Matt Weston into the locker room to make some adjustments. We'll talk about it when we come back in about 12 minutes here on YouTube. We're back in the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. You're watching USL Pro Soccer on YouTube. Orlando City leads Dayton 3-0 as we get set to start the second half. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler. Your impressions of that first half, and I would think Matt Weston is the one that has to make the adjustments with his team down 3-0.
Well, yes. One thing you want to do is stop the bleeding. You don't want it to get worse. You're going to have to score early in the half. You've got to get a goal early to make this one somewhere close to interesting. They've had some success with good runs being made. They've found some good diagonal runs in between the center back pairing of Orlando. But they also have to really tighten up some of the lines because you've seen Kevin Molino have an awful lot of room to operate and play in. And that's not something you want to give the league's leading scorers a lot of space and time.
Dayton there in the center wearing 45. He got subbed on late in that first half. Was with the New York Greek Americans last year. Signed with the Dutch Lions on August 15th, so he's only been wearing that orange for a couple of weeks. See if he pays dividends for Coach Weston. Lions goals in the 7th, 38th, and 41st to take a commanding lead here on this penultimate home game of the USL Pro season for the Lions of Orlando.
One more regular season home game in the USL history of Orlando City. Hard to imagine. Seemed like just a few weeks ago we were starting the season, Jeff.
It goes so quick. Not so next year. We'll get used to a season that's extended by a couple of months in the MLS or MLS. I've learned you do not say the MLS.
You do not say the.
Just Major League Soccer.
It's just MLS. Yes. And the one thing I like is that MLS has such a strong relationship with USL Pro and the players that they're able to feed down in. The fact that some of the franchises are actually operating franchises in USL Pro now. I think it's to the benefit of USL Pro, which I thought all along was a fantastic league, and just with that relationship made it even better.
A couple of more teams will do the same thing that the LA Galaxy are doing this year. Dallas is one of those.
Also looking forward to the additions of the St. Louis franchise and, of course, Louisville City to USL Pro next season.
Should be the affiliates of the Orlando City Lions of Major League Soccer. 21st team.
James O'Connor will be their head coach. Former Stoke player, former Orlando City Lion. He's going to be a great manager.
Lions going left to right. They continue the attack. Now Molino leaves it, a shot and a goal. Orlando City, Austin Deleuze, his second goal in as many games.
Well, what a touch by Molino, and then a blasted finish off that left boot by Austin Deleuze.
And it's 4-0 Orlando.
Good looking ball the outside, and Austin Deleuze comes in. If that was Batman, it'd have a great big wham come right across the screen right there.
Na 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 na. Number 13, Austin.
48th minute.
But not even a superhero was going to save that one, Jeff.
Austin's 4th goal of the season. The 26-year-old out of San Diego made a name for himself, winning a national championship at Wake Forest in 2007. Graduated in 09.
Jeff, if I said in the last half, you don't want to give away a goal really close to halftime going into your locker room. They did that. But the one thing you don't want to follow that up with is giving a goal away immediately coming back from halftime. I think that one was Katie shut the door right there. I think the door was already shut, but I think Katie just threw the locks on the door. Yeah. I don't think there's any way back now.
That little chain.
Look, this is New York. The chain, the bolt lock, the padlock, they all went on the door after that 4th goal.
It's like that movie, The Purge.
Yeah, pretty soon the electronic cement doors came down.
That one was about as good as your Noah movie.
Well, just say no to that one.
And Benge now playing on the right side for Orlando. This is the handle. Sprayed to the white side for Dutch Lions. Winning it in the middle of the park was Dayton.
Well, good touch.
Surin sent it right to the top of the box. Everything in the Orlando half. Attacking half, that is. Ramos in those pink shoes. A little 1-2 with Deleuze. Surin make the switch. Vitello Jean-Jacques. One of two Haitians on the field, or those of Haitian descent.
Turn looking for Giuseppe Gentile, who had some options if that ball had gotten through.
Ferrer got a touch. We'll have to play it back to Matt Williams, who's had a nightmare game tonight. Not all his fault.
No, he's certainly had a purple wave coming at him.
It's a run by Ramos. Wow.
Plays it, turns on some speed to dazzle the crowd.
The Benfica youth scored a goal against Richmond, as did Estrella. Deleuze will send it in, headed right back out, throw in Orlando City. Wow.
You will rarely see that man smile during a game. 4-0 up, could be 14-0 up. He's not going to smile. He's going to be dug in and directing his troops.
Ramos, 19 years old. Estrella, just 18. He's native of Angola, but was in that Benfica youth setup. So Ferrer picks up the yellow, second yellow of the night on Dayton. It's the only thing they've gotten into the scorebook, or a couple of bookings. Ferrer, who will head to Haitian national team camp after this game.
Well, he must be very excited getting a call up to the Haitian national team. He's going to get some international experience.
Second minute, Orlando City 4, Dayton 0. Sure, the fans in attendance are certainly enjoying it, and those of you watching on our YouTube feed enjoying it even more, unless you just happen to be from Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, then I don't think you're enjoying it very much.
I don't think you still have it on. That one's sent all the way wide by Janet. That's the problem. When Orlando City starts piling on the goals, we lose viewers.
Well, I think that one. They're good fans up in Dayton, and I think they'll support their team through the thick and the thin and all the way to the bitter end. That's what being a fan is. And this is, I think this is a franchise that will get themselves back. They're on a real steady incline. I mean, they had a plan, and they built over the years and got themselves in the USL Pro playoffs. They've taken a little bit of a stumble this season, but I think they're going to see themselves back in the push for the playoff positions next year.
Ball sent in on a free kick. It's right back into Ferrer. Outclassed again.
And here's that tons of space I was talking about. You see he's got lots of space to operate in.
Molino with 2. Can he get a hat trick? Score, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. And the more could be...
Well, with about 66 minutes, or excuse me, 36 minutes left to go, I wouldn't put it against him to get the hat trick.
He's had one this year already against Charlotte. It's amazing how he has just come into his own this season. He was already, a former league player of the year. And now he's added goal scoring to his incredible arsenal.
He's in a different role. If you remember last season, he was largely more on the left-hand side. He used to tuck in, come down, did a lot of cover work, did a lot of hard work. You know, this year he's in the hole and certainly showing all the skills that he has.
We say at every broadcast, 6 goals for Kevin Molino from the 2011 to the 2013 season. 18 this year, leading the league by 4 now.
That's
impressive.
That's pretty amazing.
And Dom Dwyer, I don't know if you saw the words that Dom Dwyer tweeted out a couple of weeks ago. Molino has potential to be the MLS Rookie of the Year next year. High praise from a good scorer in MLS.
High praise indeed.
Former teammate.
I think he stays in touch with a lot of players here at Orlando City. Who knows? He might even be listening tonight. Dom Dwyer, a player I've never seen an individual with so much confidence in my life. And that's a good thing. I mean, he oozed confidence. There's no doubt that he does what he does. He's a strong individual, and he knows how to score goals, and he has the confidence that he can, and he does.
He's having an all-star year at Sporting Kansas City.
He deserved to be on that all-star
Peter
team.
Vermees' crew took one on the chin last week, losing to DC United 3-0 at home.
Not every day is a good day at the office.
Just a little bit of skill by Molino. If you're Orlando, you're up 4-0. Do you just spray it around the park, get out, or you keep attacking?
You continue to do what you do. I mean, they have a way of playing. They're not going to change it. They're going to continue to do that. It's up to Dayton to stop them. And at 4-0, I mean, you're not going to not defend. You'll defend as you have to. But let's face it, if the ball's in the other end of the pitch and in the other team's half, it's a lot easier to defend, isn't it? Keeps it further away from your goal.
I think Patelo Jean-Jacques has had a nice game so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
in there for Luke Bowden, who's been injured.
I think he's done a good job. There's not been really anything come down the left-hand side. But again, Orlando City puts on so much pressure on teams. You don't really get to see another team. I've never seen Orlando City peg back.
Make sure you visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro.
Very rare that I've seen Orlando City pegged in their own end and can't get out. I can't recall it. If it's happened, I can't recall.
If it's happened on the road. And now Williams feeling the full brunt of the ruckus and the ILF behind him. So some compliments coming his way. Here's Gentile. Corner of the 18, sends it across. Paw save there made, and a shot and another score. Kevin Molino has a hat trick. Are you kidding me? 5-0 Orlando City.
Well, I said I wouldn't bet against him to get the hat trick.
The amazing Kruskin, Tom Traxler.
I wouldn't bet against him. We'll get a good look to watch the master at work here. Giuseppe Gentile takes a shot, deflects off. And who does it fall to? The man who knows how to work his magic.
Makes it look easy, huh?
Oh, what a great finish. Did everything right there. Inside of his foot, bent it into that post. Matt Williams with no chance.
19 goals. He has already broken the league record.
A
and
smile.
Now he's smashing it.
He got a smile out of Coach Adrian Heath. It was a small one.
This is the biggest accomplishment of the season.
That's bigger than the hat trick. It was a small one. It wasn't big, but it was a small one. I'll take it.
Plenty of smiles in the crowd. Haven't even played an hour, and Kevin Molino's been on the board 3 times.
So I said Adrian Heath doesn't smile at 4-0 or 14-0, but he'll smile at 5-0.
Okay. File that one away, Tom.
And look, Giuseppe Gentile still running hard. And if you're the Dayton Dutch Lions, you're having a purple nightmare.
Matt Williams made the initial save. Rebound spilled right back out. Kevin sent it to the other foot. Lowered his head, lowered the boom.
Good finish.
If you're Matt Weston, erase the film.
Wouldn't even look at it. I don't think he's going to go back and study this game.
Here's a positive. You never have to play this team again.
Unless it's the U.S. Open Cup.
And even that's probably unlikely, considering they're in different regions and blah, blah, blah. We'll see, though. Watch it happen next year. Here's Harada. Quickly ahead to Genet. And they can't keep it. It will be fouled that time, though. Quick restart. What, who, me? Says Stefan McCarty?
You'd be remiss in not mentioning tonight was a special night for Yordani Gio Alvarez, who officially announced his retirement. Was a fantastic servant to these Orlando City Lions, and also was able to, after the 2011, I believe it was the 2011 season, he moved up to the MLS. Was able to ply his trade at Real Salt Lake. We wish him all the success that life and career can bring beyond soccer.
Absolutely. Now Adama Mbenge, he'll run in, he'll shoot and score. 6-0 Orlando City, and Mbenge on the board. 6 goals in an hour. That's a goal every 10 minutes, Tom.
Well, if you're the home fans, you're loving this. You're getting your money's worth. And you can tell they're having a good time tonight. Adama Mbenge comes in unmolested. He's able to take his time, pick his spot, and slot it home.
Adama's 3rd goal of the season.
And then he goes heels overhead.
A man who was promoted from the U23s back in 2012 salutes the crowd.
I heard Diana Ross singing right there. Upside down, you're turning me.
It is party time here at Walt Disney World Resort.
If I was the Dayton Dutch Lions, I wouldn't worry about scoring goals. I'd just worry about trying to stop them.
I wouldn't try to be Dutch, try to be Greek. Just park the bus.
Right, yeah. Right now, I'd be pulling a page out of the Stoke book. You saw Stoke play Manchester City yesterday. They did a wonderful job at defending. You saw they set in, and they were not going to be broken down. Try and pull a page out of that book right now. Just don't concede anymore if you're the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Worst part of all of this, if you're a Dayton fan, there's still a half hour to play. Six, nothing.
Well, you know, when you do these games for Orlando City, they could be just about anything. You know, at home, you're probably going to be talking about a good result for sure. But on their day, this is what Orlando City can do. They can put a number on you.
A crooked number at that. Now the changes will come. Harrison Heath will come in, so will Justin Clark. So Valentino, his night is done. Justin Clark will come in at central defense. And Kevin Molina will take a bow with his 2nd hat trick of the season.
Well, with 2 games coming up this week and 2 very important games, you need 1 point from 2 games. And you're playing an informed Wilmington team, and of course you're playing the Richmond Kickers. So not easy games by any stretch of the imagination. So it's important. And this result right now gives Coach Adrian Heath the ability to make those changes, get some key players out, give them a little bit of extra rest. Again, 2 games coming up this week for Orlando City.
The run continues for Genet. And first test for Clark will just send it out. So throw in for Dayton. Thoreau will do the honors. And maybe not, leave it back. So throw in for Orlando, last off an orange jersey. Make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates on the league and so much more. Good Cameron Vickers. Vickers played at Phoenix last year, 15 appearances for the team that is basically under new ownership and now known as Arizona United. And Orlando City's, I believe, Botello Jean-Jacques is down.
Looks like he's got trouble in the ocular region.
Somebody needs to tell the Orlando City players, you get 3 points for the win tonight, so you would clinch a share of the league championship in the regular season. Scoring 3 more goals does not get you another point.
No, but
to win it outright. You have to do this in the next game, so maybe pull some of these back and leave them for Wilmington, right?
You know, look, everything's a habit, Jeff. So winning's a habit, losing's a habit, scoring goals is a habit. And when you're scoring goals, you just keep the pedal down.
The next game for each of these teams just happens to be against the Hammerheads. Maybe Orlando can loosen them up a little bit for the home finale there at DOC Stadium. Gentile taken down. Free kick. You know, these purple-clad Lions want to right the wrong of that loss earlier this week.
Well, it's the one thing. You haven't seen them lose 2 games in a row. So it's important that when you fall off the horse, you get back on. You don't get 3 points in one game, you're certainly going to get it in the next.
Another sub set to check in for Orlando. Brian Burke will come in for Jean-Jacques. It'll be interesting. Will Ramos stay on the right side where Burke tends to play, or will Burke move to the left?
I would tend to say that Ramos, because of his flexibility, will move over to the left. And Brian Burke will stay on his dominant right side. And boy, when he comes in, I mean, Brian Burke runs hard from minute 1 to minute 90, but if he's fresh, you're going to see him getting up and down that line at will. So expect to see a lot of Brian Burke in these final 24 plus minutes.
Sent to Gentile offside. Gentile had his 2nd goal of the season for Orlando. Had some goals with Charlotte.
He's not happy that the shot came well after the whistle. He's trying to tell her, he heard your whistle. He heard your whistle. And I think the ref went, I don't care. Let's play.
Forgettable night for Matt Williams. There it's official now. Burke is in for Jean-Jacques. We'll see the positioning now.
Brian Burke for number 19, Vitello Jean-Jacques.
And it does look like Ramos has gotten over to the left, and Brian Burke has stayed here. He's stayed on the right side.
Wearing number 7. Had just a horrible injury last year in Charleston. Broken leg, and it's taken them the better part of this season to really finish coming back from that.
It took his recuperation and his recovery and his rehabilitation. It took a little longer than I think everyone expected. But the important thing is that you do get that recovery. And I'll tell you what, you're not going to meet much of a nicer guy. What a good, fun-loving individual Brian Burke is.
California cool. He returned for the U.S. Open Cup and had a setback shortly thereafter. He's played now just in his 5th game of the season here. Does have an assist and a couple of shots on his ledger.
It's good to see him back up. And there he goes.
All by himself. They forgot about him. Boy, what a cross sent in. Played by Waite. And Estrella goes down. Play on. Ramos on the left. Vickers closes in. His right foot goes into the box.
Well, the one thing you miss not having Luke Bowden out there is that player that just drops in balls on a dime. Luke Bowden's over on the left. His left foot's just as educated as any.
Surin. Left side, Ramos. Boy, another nice ball flicked on. Now Gentile runs towards Williams, who grabs it out of the air and will distribute with the long pass. The battle by Justin Clark there, using the beef that he's got in the upper body.
You want to talk about an athlete.
Yeah, Justin's put together.
Look at him. Look at Justin Clark. I mean, I think he is the definition of an athlete.
Rollins Collins. After saying that, I probably need a Tom Collins.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, a redirect, a shot, and a goal. Orlando City. Deleuze has a brace. The Lions have scored 7. A touchdown and an extra point. And on the field tonight, it's appropriate with the gridiron.
I was going to say, he scored, he disappeared into the fog. Where'd he go?
Deleuze's second goal of the night, 3rd in 2 games.
So there's Ramos. We talked about it. Good left-footed delivery. And I said he's a smart guy. He knows how to use his head. And he certainly did there. Snuck right in front of the defender. Just beat him to the ball.
And poof.
Nestles it into the back. And like the magician he is, he disappears.
David Copperfield, right?
And making all those folks there very, very happy bunch.
Austin Deleuze, mind freak. The disappearing act into the smoke.
7-0 Orlando City.
Another sub for the Lions. They'll have more goals than substitutions tonight as Mbenge comes off and Aiden Quinn will check in. Well, we'll take this time to remind you that Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. 7-0. I think when we do the post-game highlights, we're going to have to run them in double speed to be able to get them all in. You're
going to have to talk really fast. You're going to have to be like a car salesman reading the disclaimers at the end.
Production crew at ESPN Wide World of Sports here will have their work cut out for them.
Speed up the tape a little bit. It'll be Jeff.
Play a little yakety sax.
Jeff and the Chipmunks.
Alvin.
You're going to be reading them pretty fast.
Harrison Heath getting an explanation.
Who knows? The highlights might be able to be picky. We'll just pick what we think are the best goals. Be a highlight package of the highlight package.
Well, if you're just joining us, first question to you is where have you been? All you need to know is you've got a hat trick from Molino and a brace from Deleuze. Gentili and Mbenge also have goals. It was 3-0 at the half. Lions have tacked on 4 more here in the second. Talk about breaking out of a funk, and boy, home certainly heals things.
There's no place like home. Isn't that what the saying is, Jeff?
That's right.
And if you're the Dayton Dutch Lions, there's no place like Orlando, and you're happy you don't have to come here next year.
Lions tonight have outscored their entire 3-game road trip now. More goals tonight than they had in the 3-game stretch.
And I think they're looking for more.
Ramos.
I'd be curious to see what the record is for goals in a game.
7 for Orlando. They believe beat Antigua 7-0 last year. Tom Dwyer had a couple of goals, and now Estrella is down in the center circle. Play on. Burke will send it in. Big save. Parried away by Williams, who kept it at 7-0.
They wanted to look in. They were calling for the cross. Burke's like, I'm not having it. I'm going for frame.
Attention, Orlando City SC supporters. Please refrain from throwing objects onto the playing field or at any of the opposing players.
Dave Ziemba making the customary announcement. Estrela still down.
Still down on the floor.
Estrela, Portuguese for star, by the way.
Well,
he's certainly one in the making.
Yeah, he's played like one tonight. Does his job very well.
Real name Valdomiro Lamera is his official name, but prefers star.
I think most people would.
15-2 shots in favor of Orlando City. Shots on goal. Excuse me.
That's hefty.
And Estrella
he'll come off, and he's got some magic spray probably, and he'll work it out, and then as soon as the referee allows him back on, he'll be back on the pitch.
Fans, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. You can subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Hurry up.
Do it now.
Only 2 games left in the regular season, and the playoffs will begin. Lions will be on the road at Wilmington Wednesday and close out the home schedule against Richmond, looking to be perfect, provided they close this one out in the next 15 minutes. I think they're, what they say, death and taxes are a sure thing. This is probably the third on that list, that Orlando City will take a 7-0 lead and close a game out in 15 minutes.
I think so.
Word is Estrella is back on. Good news. Dayton, can you at least salvage a goal here? Have something to build on for that home finale coming up next Friday.
Well, I think a goal would be nice for them. I think they just want to get away from Orlando and forget this one ever existed. Just erase it from your memory, erase it from the schedule, just pretend it didn't happen.
The DDL's record against Orlando will drop to 0-4-4, barring the craziest of things, a Twilight Zone situation, I'm sure. Wazinski.
For the Dayton Dutch Lions, this is kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street in Orlando City's Freddy Krueger.
They will not sleep well tonight, and he'll have nothing to do with Kruger. Burke, nicely done to lose, hopping through the box. You can tell Austin is at full health again. A lot of confidence.
Well, he's had a full season here. I think he's learned the system well, and he's right there. And then with his 2 goals tonight, showing you the quality footballer that he is.
Corner kick, Orlando City. Toulouse will let it fly with the left foot. And front, punched away by Williams. We'll do it again.
Take 2.
Repeat, redirect over the top. Last hit an Orlando player.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
In our 77th minute, it is time to vote on your man of the match. Use the OC Game Day app and vote on the Orlando City man of the match.
A few choices. 3 come to mind, but I'll bet you know where I'm putting my money. I'm putting my money on the hat trick hero. Although Giuseppe Gentile, I think Giuseppe Gentile's had
got
himself
an assist.
He's had a good
With
match.
a goal.
Austin Toulouse has had himself a very good match. And you know, having said that, Carl Wazinski's had himself a good match. When he's needed to, he's stepped up to the call. He's answered the bell.
Working on a clean sheet. Knock on wood.
Yes, we will knock on wood, and if you're an Orlando City fan.
Defense in front of him, a big part of that though too.
Well, we're looking at the several times he's had to make big reads and come out and make stops when it looked like they were one-on-one opportunities. And at a time in the game when it could have made it interesting if those had gone in.
Curious what folks are thinking in Richmond and Sacramento when they see a 7-0 pop up on USLPro.com tonight.
Well, they're probably thinking that's this game. You know, when you play us, that's when you play us. It's going to be totally different.
Remember, this Dayton team was able to tie Richmond on the 16th of August.
Very true.
And that was at City Stadium in Richmond. Last 5 for Dayton coming in. Boy, that was a dangerous ball that went past the end line. Last 5 for Dayton. Loss, tie, win, tie, loss. Dropped a game to the Colorado Rapids reserves on the 23rd.
Karamba Johnny just sent a little scare through Carl Wazinski and some of the fans.
Did we not hit the wood hard enough?
No. Well, I think we did, and that's why it went wide.
12 minutes to go plus stoppage in this one. Headed forward. Toulouse will escort the ball in the touch. Berkey. Now Harrison Heath Triangle passing continues. Estrella. Switch to Ramos, who played on that left side his first 2 games as a Lion on the road. Tonight started on the right. Back to the left now with the addition. That shot missed the post by an inch. He was looking for his second goal as a Lion, and talked with Adrian Heath at training earlier this week. He said, this is a bonus. I didn't think that Estrella and Ramos were going to be scoring goals for us at their position, and they both got one in their debut.
Well, it shows that quality players will do quality things. That is for sure. It shows his multiple sides of his game. He can play on the right, he can play on the left.
Estrella's effort, Orlando City's 20th shot of the night. Just ringing it up.
It's raining shots on Matt Williams. He certainly earned his paycheck tonight, Matt Williams. He's been in front of the firing squad.
It's almost like he's just trying to stop PKs in training. Resistance is futile. 10 minutes to play here at the ESPNY World of Sports Complex. Penultimate home game for Orlando City. One more to go next Saturday, with a road game in between.
I'm sure Orlando City would like to finish their business this week against Wilmington on the road. Pick up the necessary points and know that going into that Richmond game doesn't matter. It's academic. All playoff home games, as long as you're in the competition, will be here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. And you will have done part of what you want to do. First step of the 2 things. I think they wanted to win the Commissioner's Cup, so that'll be job number 1 done.
10 minutes to go, or sub to go for Orlando City. As Ramos again with a perfect cross. At least it appeared that way until Williams snatched it out of the air. Dennis Chin will check in shortly for Gentile.
So it gets no easier as Orlando City makes the subs. You'd think, oh, well, get a little bit of a break. Nope. Here comes the speedster, Dennis Chin.
As Brzezinski parries it out. So Chin is now in. 5th and final substitution for Adrian Heath.
Sponsored by Metro PCS. Entering the game, number 15,
And Juicy
Dennis Chin.
got on the board tonight and made an impact. Now Chin, with that speed, you know he's not going to want to sit back on the 7 goals. He'd like to make it 8.
Oh, look, you know, these guys are all playing. I mean, he wants to say, hey, you know, Coach Heath, I want to start. So they're going to come in looking to score goals.
Now in our 83rd minute. Dayton's just trying to get out of here and put it behind them. They've been trailing since the 7th minute when Molino got the first of his 3. Oh, here's a chance for Dayton.
It was a glimmer.
Defense was there.
It was but a glimmer.
Just a glimmer. 75% of Orlando City's shots have been put on target tonight. There's a stat from Austin Hiddle. Dennis Chin at the 20, at the 10, looking for the end zone. Get it across, you got it called for. Harrison Heath leaving it to the left. Quinn!
In the side netting. Oh, good bit of skill there all around. Good bit of skill by Harrison Heath to hold on to that one, look across and find Aiden Quinn.
Of course, Harrison out there playing for Papa, or playing for himself. Harrison trying to make a name for himself, shares that last name. Just 18 years old and has found a spot here on the club, coached by his father, Adrian.
Spent some time over with the Norwich Academy where he did very, very well.
Houston Dynamo as well.
Yes.
Plays a little further back than Inchy did. Inchy was an out-and-out striker. Harrison A little bit more defensive, but can also create.
Oh, yes. Well, in this system, I mean, when you're playing the holding mid, you do just that. You sit and hold. That's your job.
Ball comes to Ramos. He'll give it a go. Save made by Williams. Corner kick, Orlando.
Harrison open in the middle going, hey, hey, and Ramos is going, not having it going on. I'm hitting this one. This one's going to frame.
Rocket shot from the native of Portugal.
Watch him cut inside. Knew what the defender was going to do. Takes a great touch. Hits a blast that forces Matt Williams to get down, push it across the line.
To lose another corner. Flicked back. Bouncing around like a pinball wizard. Berkey wins it. He'll go to the corner. Estrella. Keep it on the right side with Austin Deleuze. Heath. 85th minute. 7-0. Oh, looking for Burke. Nicely played by Taylor Bolin. Hayden Quinn. Send it across. Smothered by Matt Williams.
Looking to bend that thing across.
So it's official. Kevin Molino has just been named the man of the match.
I don't know how many of those awards he's picked up this season. At least a hat trick of those, too.
Yeah, no kidding. Molino now sitting on 19 goals, one away from a score.
Well, I think he's got his sights set even higher.
One score away from a score. Going to shatter a record that may never be broken at this rate.
Well, it'll certainly make it tough, but that's what records are there for. Jeff, there to be broken.
Ramos with the speed to get back before it crosses the line. It's Tommy Redding. Burke let it fly, and Chin was racing on. Had Williams not been able to handle that, that would have been one for Dennis Chin.
Not able to get the bend needed on that ball to be able to find Dennis Chin. Have a straight ball that Matt Williams was there to easily collect.
Perhaps you're watching in Louisville tonight. Looking at some of these players that could be coming your way next year, the ones that don't make the jump.
And that wouldn't be a bad thing.
You'd have to think they'd still be one of the favorites in that league, with the players that they are going to inherit, I guess, for lack of a better term. And you know that James O'Connor is going to coach exactly the same way, set it up the same way as Heath.
Well, I think he's going to put his own spin on things as well. I think he'll try and play a very attractive brand, but he's going to do it in his way.
Chin hits it back to Harrison Heath. Camacho. And now Estrella. Deleuze. Camacho holding them in. Entire half, it's been in the Orlando attacking half.
It's been pretty much an endless onslaught.
Kutsidze wins the ball, and now it gets ahead to Karambajane. Out to the left wing. Dayton takes it off an Orlando player. Throw in Dayton Dutch Lions. Playing the 1-2 with Waite. Kutsidze. And purple jerseys, wherever that ball goes, Deleuze will just send it down into the corner. And Dennis Chin is offside.
Offside. A little bit quick. He's a lot quick, actually, Jeff. He has got some pace. I think you could put me on that people mover thing at the airport. Give me a head start running on that, and he'd still run me down.
Be curious to see how much stoppage is added here. A dangerous ball, and he was offside. Flag was up on the far side from the assistant referee.
Carl was in scout, though. It wouldn't have scored even if it was onside.
His heart rate spiked at 90.
He's a big fella, Carl.
He didn't have to work too hard tonight. The first half came off his line a couple times to keep it level.
Had some great reads on when to come off his line, and when he did, he went strong and hard, no hesitation.
Minute of regulation remains. No stoppage is the word, which is certainly appreciated by Dayton.
White flag.
Make sure you join us Saturday, September 6th at 7:30 here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. The Orlando City Lions will host the Richmond Kickers in the season finale. Hope to see you here.
The final regular season contest for Orlando City and USL Pro.
Reached full time. Stephen McCarty waiting to blow the whistle. Dayton continuing to work. A scarf show in the end zone. And a free kick awarded in the meantime. The Dutch Lions will give it a go here. Try to spoil the shutout.
Well, that'd be a parting gift, if you will.
Vickers will send it away as I heard taps being played in the supporter section. Apropos. Racing to the corner.
For having no stoppage time, we're playing a little bit of it.
1 full minute.
There we go.
And there's the double blast of the whistle from Stefan McCarty. This one goes to the pride of Lions. That's right, 7-0 over the Dayton Dutch Lions. Orlando City improves to 18-4-4. They improved to 58 points and have claimed at least a share of the USL Pro regular season championship and the Commissioner's Cup that goes with it. One more point in the last two, Tom, and it's theirs to keep.
And that's what they're after. They know what the job is. It's right in front of them, and this certainly sends them on their way to their next job up in Wilmington on Wednesday night.
Dayton drops to 6-17-4.
Well, look at that. 23 shots in total, 17 of those on frame. The only statistical area where Dayton dominates is in the saves category. Corners 8-3 to Orlando. Orlando City taking this one and put some stank on it. 7-0.
3 goals in the first half, 4 in the second. Let's run them down. Molino in the 7th. Then Gentile in the 38th to make it 2-0. Molino with the brace in the 41st. We went to halftime. Then it was Deleuze in the 48th. Molino with the hat trick shortly thereafter. And Benge in the 61st. And Deleuze with his second for a brace late. And that's how we arrived at 7-0. A clean sheet for Carl Wazinski in just his second start. There's not a bad thing you can say about this match unless you're the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Yeah, if you're the Dayton Dutch Lions, I'm sure you could point a lot of bad things. But if you're Orlando City, you know it was a good night all in all. But if you talk to them now, they're going to say, hey, our focus now is on Wilmington. Our focus is on the next 3 points. They're critical. We get those points, we're going to see a lot of those going off because we're going to host here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports as long as we're in the playoffs.
Boy, fireworks tonight were certainly in order as the Lions put up a crooked number, a 7 against Dayton. And they got the job done in their 100th, their centennial USL Pro game. From our partner Tom Traxler, our broadcast coordinator Austin Hiddle, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long from Walt Disney World. Orlando City wins it 7-0 over Dayton. Good night.